Dre with my co-host Jordan Rains, the IDP Hour. We're a proud partner of the Full-Time Fantasy Podcast Network. What's up, Jordan? How you doing?
Good, man. Happy to be here. Happy to put out some content for the folks. Put out another podcast. We've been rolling for a few weeks now, and we're gonna do a little different format tonight than usual. We talked about that before the show to just switch it up.
We'll flip the script.
Yeah, we usually do. For those who may be here for the first time, we usually talk through the top 24 rankings, which I kind of put together. But tonight we decided, or tonight, whenever you're hearing this, we're just going to talk through the matchups and the IDP relevant players in those matchups for the upcoming week. Should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. How you doing, Jared?
I'm good, man. I'm excited. I think it's, people obviously want to hear our rankings, and we do put those rankings out on Twitter. We'll put them in the thing on YouTube as well as Full-Time Fantasy. But flipping script's always good. People want to hear what the matchups are going to be, because if I'm a fantasy player, I want to know what the key matchup is for that week. So why not roll with it? So I'm going to pull up the games, and we will get to working.
Let's do it.
All right. So first game, we got the Redskins and the Vikings. Not a whole lot of great IDP on one side of it.
Yeah.
But
there are some guys though in this matchup that I really do like.
I think you got to always start Landon Collins, right?
Yeah, on the Washington side of things, for me, I'm a big Landon Collins guy. He's been a top 3 in my rankings, basically every week since the season started, and he is a top 3 defensive back. He's 1 or 2. It's like him and Logan Ryan right now. But he's a stud. You obviously are starting him. I've found Monte Nicholson as a good spot start here and there this season in some leagues.
He's up and down quite a bit though.
True.
And I want to say he's questionable this week. He did get hurt, so
we'll definitely keep an eye on that. I guess tomorrow before the game, you'll find out if he's in or out. I really like the Washington defensive line, though. Even though their team for IDP doesn't have any, the linebacker situation's kind of it's murky at best. The defensive line, I have been playing Matt Ioannidis in several of my redraft leagues where I found him on the waiver wire. Some of them are 2D tackle leagues. He's the number 2 defensive tackle on the season right now, and no one's really talking about it. He's doing really good for a lot of people that are starting him.
Well, he's been really quiet, and their offense can't stay on the field, so you expect their defense
exactly
to play well.
And then also Jonathan Allen, who's hurt early in the season, he's been doing pretty good now that he's back. I believe he's got up to 3 sacks now in the past 5 games, so that's pretty good. And then Deron Payne, another guy on their defensive line, who we talked about a lot this offseason, he hasn't really panned out the way I wanted, but he had 7 tackles last week, which puts him in he's a top 12 D tackle. So there's some guys
I like
there.
Montez Sweat.
Yeah,
I've always been high on him. He's starting to play really strong. They got some injuries, and I think that's really what moved him into the spot. But really like him. We'll see what ends up happening.
Yeah,
with
very
it.
True.
The other side of the ball, the Vikings are pretty loaded overall.
There are tons of guys on that side of the ball.
Eric Kendricks is balling, and I actually been trying to get him, in 2 of my leagues, but because people like him more than even I like him. So
yeah, he's a number 8 or 9 overall linebacker, top 8 or 9 in most leagues. Yeah, I'm sure you got him cheap. I traded him this offseason in a dynasty like an idiot. I've got pennies back, I'm sure, for him.
Yeah, Trey Waynes is actually playing pretty well at corner. I would love to see who's guarding Stephon Diggs on Washington's side.
Do you think it'll be
because with Thielen being
out, right?
Josh Norman is injured. So
really?
Yep.
Dang, how did I miss that? Interesting.
Only reason I was just checked before we got on. So
nice. Stephon Diggs, he's been tearing it up.
He's been balling the last couple games. With Thielen out, it only makes him a wide receiver 1. I'm actually going to try to trade for him with Brandon before the news really gets out,
Yeah.
Thielen
He's
is
been the
not
leading
playing.
receiver in the league the last 2 weeks. He's been the wide receiver one as far as yards, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
2
getting it,
weeks in
dude.
a row.
So I would love to see who's guarding him. So I mean, at least you can get some maybe solo tackles and maybe a pass deflection here and there. I don't think you might get a pick. I mean, who knows
Yeah.
which Kirk Cousins is going to show up. But
Yeah, he's definitely got a good chance to throw a pick. Obviously, you're starting Danielle Hunter. That's kind of a no-brainer. Crushing it this
for sure,
year.
got to start Danielle Hunter. Got to start Harrison
What do you
Smith. I would think too.
Yeah, absolutely starting Harrison Smith, especially against that quarterback, Keenum. I love Keenum, but there's another guy. I mean, this should have some turnovers. This game should have plenty of turnover opportunity. What do you think about Everson Griffin this week playing against Keenum?
So I have Everson Griffin in one of my leagues, and he's so up and down. But Adrian Pearson hurt his ankle, had an MRI, so he's out. Looks like they're down to like their third running back, who's their passing option running back. I wouldn't actually be surprised if they went back to get Samaje Perine, who's back on waiver wires since Cincinnati released him. So he knows the system. I wouldn't be shocked at all to see him get signed even before tomorrow night. Who knows what happens? But I don't know, man. I don't trust the Redskins to save my life or anything. It's going to be a dome game, so you're not worried about weather like last game.
Yeah, it's gonna be
stomped, bro.
Like I said, there'll probably be a good number of turnovers in this game. So there's a lot of guys I'm interested in. Those are your big dogs right there. You can pretty much fire them all up.
Okay, let's go. Next group, Falcons Seahawks. This is could be an IDP monster game here.
Yeah, there should be a lot of stuff. Which side are you going to start on, Falcons or Seahawks?
Let's go Falcons. I think the Seahawks. We got some good stuff to talk about them.
Well, we'll make the defensive line go really fast. If Grady Jarrett's playing, you're playing him. He's having a great season. There is nobody else on that offensive or defensive line that I'm starting, though. What about you?
No, I'm starting both linebackers, not touching a single one of their linemen.
Grady Jarrett's having a good year, but Tack's garbage. Vic Beasley is garbage. Don't they have Michael Bennett, some garbage? He
got injured. He's IR, right?
Yeah, maybe not. That's how garbage he is. He's not even
I thought he's out for the season. So
don't mess with him.
But Devondre Campbell and Deion Jones are both guys you got to look at starting because they're both getting high tackles right now. Deion Jones finally came back. He's had 2 really good games this year, a couple average games. Devondre Campbell's really been balling. Deion Jones obviously had a really good game last week, so I expect kind of the same from this week. I expect Carson to get a lot more carries. I think that's why the Seahawks lost last week, because when they did give him carries, he played pretty well against a really good defensive line and defensive team in the Ravens last week. So the Falcons got ran over pretty much every time they play anybody. So the linebackers are the guys that I'm grabbing there.
Yeah, definitely. Devondre Campbell's top 5 in solo tackles on the season for linebacker. He's outperforming Deion Jones just a little bit. Deion Jones is actually finally starting to catch up. He's got 40 solo tackles on the season to 42 for Campbell. So, like you said, both those guys, and especially the way Russell Wilson's playing, they're moving the ball.
And they're pacing over 80 tackles.
So, and they're big fans of long drives. So there will be plenty of tackle opportunities for the linebackers. What about the safety situation there with Ishmael and Ricardo Allen?
Ricardo Allen's okay. Ishmael was the guy that led it last week in tackles of the group.
He's been doing pretty good. I saw his snap percentages are kind of up and down, though.
I'm really surprised KZ didn't move back, to be honest with you, as well as he played last year in Keanu Neal's absence. But I think they feel like they need him at corner, which is probably right because he's probably going to cover Lockett.
Yeah, they have a need at a lot of places on that defense.
Yeah, also the coach. So
yeah, also
I'm sorry, they're just trash, and I don't know how Ryan is not going to be able to run.
Oh yeah. Apparently he's going to try to play, is what I saw today. So
yeah, so they better get the ball out fast.
Yeah, let's talk about the Seahawks side of the ball.
The Seahawks side is interesting. Let's go top down instead of front to back.
All right, let's do
They
it.
just traded for Quandre Diggs. Every single Detroit defensive player posted on Twitter about how
Oh,
pissed
yeah.
off they were.
I don't think I've ever seen a team-wide response quite like that before from a Twitter, like for something like that. I've seen like one or two guys on a team have something to say, but I saw Twitter was lit up, and
It
for
was
whatever
hot.
reason, I didn't realize how many Detroit players I followed until I started getting all these, like, seeing all these people pop up in there. I'm like, damn, I didn't realize I was paying this much attention to those guys.
Y'all are hot right now. Yeah, the whole team's pissed, and
Mm-hmm.
that's saying something. It tells you what they feel about him in the locker room, which
Yeah.
tells you the kind of player. But
Tracy Walker is crushed. I mean, their safety situation right now is so good.
But they got to pay Quandre Diggs if they had kept him. So
Exactly. There's multiple factors in play there. So
to where you got a guy, where they feel like they have some injuries at Seattle, which they do.
Would you
it'll be
start him this
interesting.
week, or are you going to watch and see what happens?
I don't think they went to get him without starting him.
See, and I feel like this might be another Minkah Fitzpatrick, Jalen Ramsey situation where it's like he is out there and he plays like a ton of snaps this week.
60% or more.
60+% of snaps, yeah.
Yep.
So
I like the guy right next to him, Marquise Blair. I think that he's going to get some playing time. I think that he's going to be there. They like him. He obviously did his job last week.
Yeah, good physical game from him last week for sure.
Yeah, I mean, 4 solos, 4 assists, and pass deflection against, let's be real, to guard Mark Andrews in general, tough.
Yeah.
He's basically
the rain helped a little.
Yeah, but I mean that would hurt a lot
of guys.
A safety more than it would hurt a tight end. So because he's got to go full bore.
True.
I like that one. Linebackers, obviously, Wagner's a must start. Wright seems like he's a pretty good start in general.
Yeah, he's been having a really good season. Michael Kendricks maybe as like a linebacker 3-4 if you super needed him. He hasn't had a bad season either. The rookies haven't really been getting much play up there, so wouldn't worry about them. On the defensive line, you've got Anza. You got the rotation system going with Anza.
I'm not touching a single one of them, be honest.
Me either. And it includes Jadeveon Clowney, who has a whopping total of 14 tackles this season.
And most of them seem like the first 2 games.
And 1 sack. Yeah, his numbers have been saved basically by that. He had like that fumble recovery.
Yeah,
right?
fumble recovery for a touchdown.
And then he had a touchdown. He had also had just a solo touchdown. So he's had almost no tackles or sacks, but he's had one of basically every big play you can have, plus 3 pass defended. So he's had 14 tackles, 3 pass deflections, a touchdown, a fumble recovery, a forced fumble, an interception. So he's just basically being kept afloat by these big plays right now. Maybe they keep up, but even so, he's not even a top 24 defensive lineman right now. And without bringing his tackle numbers up, he's too risky to play. You're right.
Yeah, I agree. All right, next game, Colts, Broncos. To be honest with you, I'm not touching too many guys on the Broncos, so we'll talk about them first. Justin Simmons, definitely a guy I'm looking at. Their linebackers haven't played that great last 2 weeks. AJ didn't play good last week. He's been pretty good 2 weeks in a row. So we'll see what happens with their linebacking group with Jewel and AJ back. But Justin Simmons might be the only guy I'm really playing.
Yeah, Justin Simmons, I don't like it. I mean, but you can do it if you pretty deep league and you start 3.
Simmons is playing well. He's the one player on the team that is.
He had a good game. He had a
top
good
10
game
last year, and he's really putting some numbers together lately.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, anybody else you want to talk about on the Broncos? Because not even Von Miller.
I mean, if you could play Von Miller, but you're gonna reap what you sow there, and it's not gonna be much.
I don't like the matchup for the Broncos this week defensively.
No, and that's the other thing too. This Colts line is fantastic.
Yeah,
there's not really much else to say about it. I mean, and Von Miller struggled this year.
Yep, especially with Chubb going out, so it really takes away from the Colts side, though. Man, there's a few guys you can grab. Obviously, Leonard being back had a great game last week. Walker's still pretty good. I like the corner that's probably going to guard Cortland Sutton, which is Sin, who will probably guard him, I would guess, if they
Rock
do him man
Sin.
on man. Yeah,
Rock Sin.
like that dude. Defensive line, Justin Houston's playing well. Ben Banning's not playing a whole lot, but
Justin Houston he's been playing pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Justin Houston's been playing pretty well, so I expect
he
him.
had a great game last week. I played him. He had 2 sacks and a few tackles. He looks fresh out there. He looks like Justin Houston. I don't know what else to say.
And they're playing a banged up line too, so I'd say play him with confidence.
Yeah, I'm looking here on Football Outsiders, and Denver's pass protection is ranked as a bottom 4 in the league. It's Tennessee, the Jets, Miami, and then Denver. So have the 4 worst pass protection offensive lines. So Justin Houston,
I'm looking at. Period.
Justin Houston is money in the bank this week. I think Danico Autry might be money in the bank this week. If he's D-tackle specific in whatever league you're in, obviously play him. But he's a defensive lineman in a lot of leagues I'm in, and I'm trying to decide whether or not, because I want a piece of that action, I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to play Sam Hubbard or Danico Autry for the upside. Because Sam Hubbard's been good, but he's been good mostly because he has a high tackle floor. He has not been getting to the quarterback.
He's got a high tackle floor, and
Danico Autry's tackle floor is a little lower. So it's an interesting question of who to play.
Maybe both.
And then I have to sit DeForest Buckner, and that's not going to happen.
Well, Buckner's playing the Panthers.
I don't give a shit.
So,
Big dog gonna eat. Oh.
I'm gonna take this one. You're not gonna like this one. I'll just straight jump to that. Hubbard outperforms Buckner this week.
I bet he does. That's fine. I'm starting both of them, no matter what. Buckner's on that.
Are you going to start Danico Autry? Because I think Danico Autry has the better matchup against the Broncos.
I don't like playing matchups. When I make my decisions, matchups are important to me.
We're literally talking about matchups right now.
Okay, I know that's fine, but that's part of the equation. When I do in my head, I have this pyramid that I look at, and matchups is the second or third most important thing. To me, the absolute number one most important thing, offense, defense, whatever. This is long-term, short-term, the whole gamut. Who do I play? It's the person who's done it the most and done it the best and done it the longest, period. And for me, of those 3, Danico Autry has not performed this season, long-term, none of it, in the way that DeForest Buckner and Sam Hubbard have shown that themselves capable to. So I will always start those guys over a guy with a beautiful matchup.
Hubbard all day. So next match, we're going to get to the Buccaneers and the Titans. I'm going to go jump to the Titans. I know that you're a really big fan of Logan Ryan.
Yeah, dude.
Rashaan Evans is a must start. And honestly, if you got him, I would go get Jeffrey Simmons.
Jeffrey Simmons?
Yeah, he had his first week. Last week was the first week he came off of IR.
The D tackle.
If you have a D tackle league, I say he is a start. I love his matchup against the poorish Buccaneers offensive line, and he is a monster. Had a forced fumble, had 4 Souls tackles, a sack. I will take that out of your first game you've ever played in the NFL all day long against a good team last week. So,
agreed.
I really like that kid, and I say start him.
Yeah, Harold Landry is also doing. Logan Ryan is the number 1 defensive back, I think, right now in just fantasy points, not necessarily tackles, but it's because he's had 2 touchdowns, or he's had a touchdown. He's had 2 forced fumbles. He's had 2.5 sacks. He's putting up numbers everywhere. Tackles for a loss. This guy is getting it done for you.
He's a baller.
He is. He's only like a half a point behind Von Bell in some scoring formats. So he's a must start right now, even over some of your better safeties.
Rashaan Evans, is he a must start against the Bucs?
Oh, yeah. Rashaan Evans is a must start every week. He's been having a great season quietly. He's been outperforming.
Especially with Jayon Brown going down.
With him going down, but even before that, he was playing more snaps than Jayon Brown, putting up more fantasy points, getting more tackles. But it was just like low key. So yeah, he's a must start, like you said, 100% now, especially with Jayon Brown going out. I mean, he's got to perform, and he's done that. So
yeah, really like the play.
On pace for well over 95 tackles. So
this next one's exciting: the Cardinals Saints. Actually, sorry, we didn't talk about the Buccaneers, but to be honest with you, the only person I'm really targeting, Levante David, maybe
Shaq Barrett.
Yeah. Maybe, because Titans' offensive line is pretty solid. So their quarterback, is Tannehill now. So
yeah, that's the factor there. It's different. Is Tannehill now, not Mariota. Their offensive line is not great for pass protection. It's actually one of the worst. But like you said, the situation's
Shaq Barrett hasn't played well last 3 weeks, though.
Oh, I'm not benching him. You gonna bench Shaq Barrett?
5 Hubbard?
Or just not Hubbard, just in a real life, are you gonna bench him? If you have
him in real life, I'm not benching him. He's got to play him. Who else you got?
I'm not benching him. I might even start Carl Nassib this week. I got him in a league, and I'm thinking about sliding him on in there because
it depends on where you're at, I guess.
Yeah, true that.
I don't have a whole lot of Buccaneers guys, so
no, I have to start Devin White in one league this week. I don't have to start Levante David in a league this week, so I'm not. I have a lot of.
I would really like to see Devin White put on some boy shoes and let's get to work.
True.
So
that.
you know what I mean? It's you're number one draft pick for a reason. Start playing like it.
Yeah. Well, Tannehill behind center, they should hopefully move the ball down the field. So
yeah. All right. Next game. This could be a fun one. The Cardinals and Saints. You could see that big scoring game like you did against Seattle. The Cardinals tossed the ball a lot. The Saints tossed the ball a lot. You might have Drew Brees back. So
that's not going to happen. They're going to do one more week without Brees.
We'll see. I mean, he's practicing, so
we'll see. You're right.
I think it's the smart play to hold him back, but the Cardinals are on a streak right now, and they're playing well. So even in the rain, they played well.
Cardinals defensive line this week: Chandler Jones. You got Suggs, outside linebacker, defensive line, whatever you want to call him, edge rusher. Their Saints offensive line's been pretty good. It's one of the better ones in pass protection. So I would temper your expectations on those guys. You're probably still starting them. But I'm not expecting.
It's kind of hard not to start Chandler Jones. I mean, he's got to be on a high right now.
Yeah, so he's riding high. The linebackers for the Cardinals, both of them are must starts. Hassan Reddick and Jordan Hicks both playing really good, partially because their teams on the field, their defense on the field a lot.
It's crazy. Their defense on the field a lot because the offense. I mean, the offense is still like one of the top 3 or 4 teams offensively per play, right?
Mm-hmm.
Running plays. So, which is just the college aspect of the
they're running them fast. They're running a lot of them.
Yeah. So I mean, they're either on the field really quick. I mean, they'll run 10 plays in 6 minutes. So that obviously show they don't need David Johnson. So we'll see how that works out for them.
Whoa. Yeah,
it's true. I mean, Evans blew out last week. I mean,
I know they signed 2 running backs today, 3 running backs today.
Yeah, well, they signed Zenner, and
people spent a lot of fab on Chase Edmonds in my primary league last night. Let's say that.
I don't know about that, bro. I like Ty Johnson.
Well, Ty Johnson got spent money on too, but nah.
I'm sure. Well, I didn't see the freaking Detroit Lions signed 3 running backs or nothing, so that's the main reason I like that. So, again, there's some good matchups here. That's going to be one of the funner games to watch probably. Even if Teddy Bridgewater is the guy, he's still balling. He's still winning games. Yeah. So, I think
Buda
he's
Baker,
6-0, right? As a starter?
Don't know. Oh, Teddy Bridgewater. Yeah, you're still going to start. You're probably starting Buda Baker on Cardinal side. Saints side, though, I don't know. Is he 6-0? Right? Yeah, I think they haven't lost. You're right. I think you're right. I think they are 6-0 since he's been playing.
Von Bell.
Yeah, Von Bell, he's number 1 defensive back in fantasy right now in a lot of leagues. He's playing really good. A lot of tackles, a lot of forced fumbles. I mean, he's making big plays. He's making tackles, and he's playing showing up and showing out every week. So he's an absolute must start. We did talk about Gardner. What was that new guy? Gardner Johnson.
Yeah, Gardner Johnson.
He was a guy that he's on your waivers, or
Gardner.
if he's out there in your leagues right now, you might want to go pick him up. He had a really good game this last week. Looks like they're going to be playing him a little bit at safety.
In his first start, he had 8 tackles, 8 solos,
9 tackles. Yeah, he made our studs list on our other show. Guy that we talked about, and he's a rookie, so Von Bell, they're going to have to pay him here eventually. So maybe Von Bell go somewhere else. And then this guy is, in Dynasty, you're sitting on a dude that nobody talked about, nobody drafted in Dynasty drafts probably, and he's just boom.
Yeah, I think he was number 2 last week in points.
Yeah, so keep an eye out for him.
3 on the same team as Von Bell.
So. Linebackers, obviously, we've kind of seen that Kiko Alonso is a non-factor. I don't
trust their linebackers at all.
Klein had that touchdown last week, but that was real weird. Demario Davis is you can start him. I'm not overly excited to start him. He's not having a bad season.
He's not having a breakout season, but he's having a good season for the Saints.
He's having a lot of solo tackles, but not a lot. He's not doing a lot in the way of assist. Not doing a whole lot for me there.
All right, let's get to the next group. We still got a lot of games to cover. Bengals, Rams. Like we already said, Bengals. Hubbard is the guy I'm going for on this one. Both Bates and Williams are must starts. Either one of them. They're both in the top 5 in all of tackles for safeties, and they're on the same team.
And the Rams are going to run. Rams are going to run a lot of plays and a lot of passing plays because they don't have a workhorse running back anymore. So there are going to be a lot of tackles happening in that.
Nick Mitchell has been a guy that really has played pretty well. I mean, he's around the ball quite a bit. He's got a lot of assists, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
So,
linebackers, Nick Vigil, we got to bring him up.
The only person that I'm honestly grabbing in that group.
Word. He's had a pretty good season so far. I mean, I've kind of been sleeping on him. I won't lie to you, but he's having a good year. Over 50
I've been sleeping on a little bit in 2 of my leagues because I have such good linebackers in those leagues.
See, that's why I didn't have to go rummaging through the garbage for a Bengals linebacker in the offseason.
So I didn't drafting with me. You're not drafting a stud IDP guy by round 5 or 6. You're probably going to lose against me. So. If we're starting from straight redraft, I drafted 4 linebackers in a row in one group, and it was Blake Martinez, Corey Littleton, Luke Kuechly,
Devin Bush,
and Devin Bush was like my 7th, my 11th rounder, and they were like, "What's going on? Like, why are you doing something?" We are in an IDP league, which tackles mean a lot in this league, and I am blowing
those guys are going to have a lot of tackles.
It ain't even close. I think I'm leading tackle by 300 points in that league. Or leading point scorer by 300 points. It's ugly.
Dope.
Let's go.
Rams side.
Dude, Eric Will let me down last week.
Yeah, your star of the week let you down. They'll do that from time to time.
I mean, it depends on which Dalton we get. The guy likes to pass the ball like the Rams did.
I think he leads the league in pass attempts right now, Andy Dalton, or he's a top 5 or 6.
Well, he threw 40 passes first week of the season at Seattle.
Yeah.
I mean, so I want you to do that again for Andy Dalton because obviously you're not handing the ball to my man Joe Mixon, who averaged 7.26 inches last week.
Dude, Joe Mixon, there's no sadder story in football than Joe Mixon's complete.
You know what's funny?
It's like Todd Gurley. It's like Todd Gurley when Jeff Fisher had him. It's like, wow, like you would be so awesome if you didn't suck because
it would be so good if they used him like they're supposed to use him. I mean, dude catches the ball well out of the backfield.
Well, they're always down by like 40 points by the end of the first quarter. They're like just throwing 30 and 40-yard passes.
Joe Mixon is a stud. I kind of want them to trade him.
I am wanting to make a play for him so bad in Dynasty right now.
Pennies on the dollar right now, bro. You can get him for.
Yeah, but pennies. He still commands a bit though. You'd be surprised in Dynasty. I mean, he's only like 22, 23 years old for a running back, and he doesn't have a.
This is only his 3rd season, so.
I know. In his first season, he's barely used, so he doesn't have any miles on him either.
Yep. Okay.
Sorry.
No,
Aaron Donald, he's doing good.
Aaron Donald, a good play this week against the Bengals.
He's going to be an elite play against the Bengals this week. Bengals defensive line is garbage. Dante Fowler also right now low-key is like a top 5 defensive lineman. Or
Corey
whatever.
Littleton is a must start every week.
Yep. So, I mean,
Number
you're starting all Rams defensive players. Jalen Ramsey,
again,
if you got a cornerback, you
we
can
said
play
that last
him.
week.
Yeah.
But,
So
yeah, I
there's
really
not
like
much to talk about there. Just do it. Don't start Kenny Young.
Yeah, no,
Don't do that.
Not a thing. We both were laughing about that trade, actually, you and me both. So,
what are you gonna do?
The next game, 1:00 game, Eagles, Bills. Who offensively would you play? Because defensively, I think it's actually a good matchup for both sides. Jordan Poyer is a must start, honestly.
Yeah, Jordan
the Eagles
Poyer.
are going to try to toss it. So.
Oh yeah, they definitely will because they can't. I mean, they run it, but not like super great necessarily. They had that one game where Jordan Howard did kind of take over, but yeah, they'll be throwing a lot. I think this will be a really good game for the linebackers on both sides. Although, well, no, not on the Eagles side. Eagles side, I'm not really going to start any of the linebackers. It's kind of weird. They have this guy, Nate Gary, right?
Yep.
He had a good week last week and the week before. So, if you want to start him, that's fine. Derek Barnett has been playing pretty decent, but Bill's offensive line is actually pretty good. So I'm going to probably sit him if I have the choice.
I'm only playing Nate Gary if I need to play him because of a bye or something like that. But
the safeties for this team, I'm not really playing any of them for the Eagles. I am starting Rasul Douglas at cornerback in a couple of leagues. He's been pretty
Douglas has been pretty good. Yeah. I mean,
their corners are not good. They let people catch the ball, but that means they get a lot of tackles.
And a lot of tackles. So let him catch tackle away. I mean, give me 7 solo tackles and we'll be good. It's like 14 points in most leagues. So
and like 2-3 pass deflections. So what's up with the Bills though?
The Bills, we finally got Tremaine Edmonds actually had a decent game last week. Alexander had a good game last week, mostly because Milano's out. Every time Milano goes out, Alexander has a good game. So it doesn't matter. Last year, this year, it doesn't matter. So he's a guy that I'm definitely looking at if Milano's out. And Jordan Poyer's a must start. Defensively on the line, Hughes, Phillips. I don't know, man. The Eagles' defensive line has actually been playing pretty well overall. Their offensive line, Lane Johnson is out, which is huge. So that's why I would, look at a guy possibly like Adrian Phillips. So
yeah.
Overall, not huge though. The next game, let's go with Bears Chargers. This is kind of an interesting one. Obviously, the Bears haven't been what they were in the beginning of the season.
No.
Fuller was playing really well.
They missed their coach, Vic Fangio.
They look like they didn't skip a beat the first couple games, and then I don't know who they are now. So
who's a worse coach, Matt Nagy or Adam Gase?
Adam Gase. I don't know why you even brought that up.
True.
You hate Adam Gase personally. So let's be real.
He's garbage.
Gase is a 4-letter word.
He would turn Patrick Mahomes into a 2,500-yard passer with 18 touchdowns and 16 interceptions like that. He would do it. He turned Zeke Elliott into like a 1,000-yard rusher with like 6 touchdowns on like 400 carries. 800. Yeah. 20. He has 20 receptions all season.
Yeah, Adam is not the guy. Period.
Oh my gosh! If you want to ruin your franchise, if you want to tank, which is what the Dolphins did. I mean, they've been tanking for years. I don't know why people are acting like they're surprised right now. Like they were tanking, and then they pulled out like the piece that literally would have just made them dissolve into the ocean, which was Adam Gase. And now they're like, all right, now we got number 1 picks just lined up. We're set.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Ryan Flores is like, I got this made in the shade over here.
Okay, so back to players that you're going to start on. Is Khalil Mack a solid start?
Oh, yeah. He's a must start. Chargers, I mean, we know anything about Phillip Rivers. He likes to turn the ball over, too. He will take sacks, too. So they get Russell Okung back this week. I just saw a little blurb about. Yeah, Okung. I just call him the Bitcoin guy because he's on Twitter repping Bitcoin pretty hard.
Yep.
But they get him back. But I mean, it's his first game back. They did lose Akeem Hicks a week or two back, so Bears line is a little depleted as compared to what it normally would be. Because I mean, he obviously was a high level starter for them every year. But Leonard Floyd has been just okay. You can maybe play him in a super deep league. Khalil Mack, obviously you're starting him. He's an absolute beast, and he can go off at the drop of a hat. And he's kind of had a slowish year for him, so I expect him to. I mean, he's going to get his at the end of the day, kind of like Aaron Donald's been doing. I mean, he's been getting his finally. I mean, it's going to happen. The law of averages, they're that good. They're not broken. They're not old, so it's going to happen. So it could happen this week. Roquan Smith, Danny Trevathan, both super elite linebackers. You can play them both as linebacker ones, in my opinion.
I completely agree. I like both of them. I have Danny Trevathan in almost every league that I have him in, and bought him late. So,
yeah, and you were talking. I remember you talking about him way back in like April and May, way back.
I have been super high on Danny Trevathan. I mean, for the cost for his ADP compared to Roquan.
Oh yeah, compared to Roquan was going in a top 10 linebacker pick, and Danny Trevathan probably wasn't even a top 10 round pick.
Oh yeah, no, and that's the greatest thing about him, because if you look at their stats from the year before, where Roquan didn't miss any games, Danny Trevathan was right with him in every stat line, every single one of them. This year, Danny Trevathan's blowing him out because Roquan is having mental issues for some reason. So I don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah, not sure what that's all about.
He's a high-quality kid. I'm not going to call him a man yet. He's been, it's his second year out of college. So, but he's a high-quality kid. If you've ever seen him do an interview or anything like that, you just don't know what's going on. Rumor has, got a DUI or whatnot. Who knows what's going on?
Who knows?
But Danny Trevathan is a monster.
Yeah, great play.
So,
what about their safeties? You got Eddie Jackson. I don't really like him. He's one of the worst strong safeties for IDP. He's not a very high tackle producer. He's only had like 3 double-digit tackle games in his whole career.
I would love to see them move Kendall Fuller to safety, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Kendall Fuller is a great play, and we don't talk about corners a whole lot, but he's a great corner to have. If you do have to,
just me personally.
Adrian Amos has been playing pretty good.
Yeah, Amos is. But when did he go to the Bears?
Whenever they got Landon Collins, because he played at Washington, right, in the Redskins.
I thought Adrian Amos plays. You're talking about Clinton Dix.
Oh, you're right, because Amos plays for Green Bay, right? Okay, yep, yeah. You're 100% right. You're 100% right. Okay, yeah. Clinton Dix has been playing good. They've both been playing good.
Yeah, Clinton Dix is a baller. So, and he'll have one of those crazy games where he'll have like an interception or two.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like the Bears safeties are so much more of a boom bust safety than your typical kind of safety for IDP, who's like a Sean Williams, Jesse Bates, who's like, okay, their bad game's going to be six tackles, their good game's going to be 14, where it's like Clinton Dix, like his bad game's could be like 3 tackles, and his good game's like 4 tackles, 2 picks, a forced fumble, like. You know what I mean? And one of those is a lot harder to project than the other.
Agreed. I don't know, man. So in that one, who knows?
Yeah. Who was on the other side of that one? It was.
Pull it up real quick. I don't know why my screen share went away. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it was Bears versus.
Everything went crazy on me just now.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know why my brain did not register who the other team was. Chargers.
There you are. Chargers.
All right. Well, there's a lot of IDP shit to sift through on that side of the ball.
Yeah, well, I don't know what's going on with Thomas Davis. He went out for a little bit last week. I don't know if he came back.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch a Chargers linebacker. Nobody's playing 100% of snaps anymore. It's kind of like a circus with Denzel Perryman, Thomas Davis. Kazir White is still running. Jatavis Brown's been out on the field again suddenly. So I'm not playing any of those guys. Obviously, Joey Bosa is a stud. Dude's
Yeah, he is a
crushing
must
again
start
this year. Every week. I mean, Trubisky's going to be – he's going to eat Trubisky alive. Let's put it that way. Joey Bosa is a must play.
Well, Trubisky's trash. So
yeah,
let's not forget the Bears traded up past Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes.
We've heard that before. I got Joey Bosa as my number 2 defensive lineman this week, behind only Danielle Hunter. So I have full faith in him this week. He should crush. Safety's there, kind of a weird situation. Nasir Adderley's not playing. They lost Derwin James. I heard he's out of his walking boot, so you might want to scour some of your waivers, see if he's out there. If maybe he comes back later in the season.
That's what I hate about one of my leagues. You can put him in IR, so you can keep him on your team. Like, I hate you guys.
Nice.
I hate that.
There's that Rashawn Jenkins. He's been playing safety, doing pretty good. So maybe start him, maybe not. If you're deeper league, whatever. So that's all I got for the Chargers, really.
Yep, me too. Not really big ones on that. Next game, we got the Lions and Giants. Dude, I'll be honest here. The Giants did not play good last week against the Cardinals in the rain with Saquon back. The Lions
are crushing right now. They're doing really good.
They're dropping guys like crazy. I mean, they had a lot of injuries. I mean, they lost their starting running back.
But what was Carry-On really been doing? I don't want to be that guy because I have Carry-On. I love him. But it's like, what's he really done this year? He's fumbled away a win over the Chiefs. He's fumbled more than that.
But he's still taking a lot of pressure off of Stafford.
Stafford doesn't need pressure taken off of him, though. You see him out there? I mean, he's airing it out, and he's just throwing dimes.
So
Matty Stafford backwards on baseball cap, cigarette hanging out of his mouth, chewing at the same time.
Tracy Walker's a must start for the Lions.
Oh yeah, Tracy Walker, absolute must start. Obviously, there's that other guy, Tavon Wilson, who's been playing free safety. I think he's not doing bad.
Not doing bad. They're obviously going to take him. He's going to play a lot more now that Diggs is gone. So
yeah, definitely. What about their linebackers? You got Jelani Tavi. You got Jarod Tavai. Yeah, sorry. Well, yeah, Jarod. However you say his name, Jarod Davis.
I know that. We keep saying this because
I'm gonna mess up this next guy's name too. It's isn't it Kevin Denard?
Yep.
Devin. Yeah, were you playing him? I think he could have a sack or two this week. Personally. Yeah, I think
he's not a sack or two with you.
Yeah, especially against Danny Dimes. What about this line? Trey Flowers, he cost them that game with his 2 terrible penalties 2 weeks ago. But
and that's where I think he's going to step up this week.
Yeah, you think he's just going to get to the quarterback and say, "Screw it"?
I think. Well, if everybody watched the Giants the last couple of games and how to play Daniel Jones, the Patriots put the groundwork to play anybody. By the way. If you just want to watch any of their game film, that's what you do against everybody. So they're basically laying groundwork for everybody. And then the Cardinals did the same thing. So this game is going to be in the Dome. It's going to be at Detroit. Detroit's going to handle them. I like on the Giants side, Peppers. Your boy Alec Ogletree had an okay game last week. Not
great. Okay, yeah, you're right. Bethea and Peppers are must-starts every week.
Yep, Antoine Bethea and Julius Peppers. I always call him Julius.
Jubril, yeah, I know.
It's because I had to deal with Julius Peppers for so long, obviously. So, I mean, when the guy's a Hall of Famer you're talking about for so long, that's what you do. So,
true.
Peppers is obviously a guy you're going to start. I like Shane Zimenez all of a sudden. I have brought him up a few times, the rookie.
Yeah, we talked about him on the Sunday show this last week. I know someone asked us on him.
I don't know if he's a must start, obviously, but I do like his progression. Right now, the line is a lot better, so I don't know if I like that play in general. The only 2 I really love playing are the 2 safeties, and with Matthew Stafford throwing the ball, that's the only 2 guys I really want anyway.
100% agree. And the Detroit's offensive line has been one of the better ones at pass protection too. So there's nothing really on that defensive line of the Giants worth talking about.
We still got some games to go here, man.
We're doing good. We got 15, 20 minutes left. We just got 4 or 5.
Let's get this next one. Jags Jets. Well, the Jets are a dumpster fire with your favorite coach. So
the Jets are so bad.
So bad.
But that's good because their defense is on the field a lot.
Well, and C.J. Mosley hurt his groin again.
Did he? This dude's groin. I tell you what, we could have a whole podcast about C.J. Mosley's groin these days.
You know, it's funny because I literally have our buddy Brandon has been praising C.J. Mosley. Oh, he's back. I'm like, this dude's gonna pull his groin again. Yeah. Sure enough, he pulls that back.
Well, that's just good news for the Neville Hewitt owners out there and the Blake Cashman owners out there, I guess.
Yeah, if I am going to get Blake Cashman for sure right now, because.
Yeah, he had a pretty good game the other night. Actually, I am literally, while we're recording this, going to go pick him up because I know for a fact he's on my Dynasty waiver wire on one of my leagues.
And we don't want to publish this before you get to do it. So
yeah, exactly.
Jaguars, other side.
Don't forget, we got Jamal Adams is an every week must start.
Well, that's if he's playing.
Jamal Adams should be playing.
He didn't play last week.
Jamal Adams played.
What did Jamal Adams do last week?
It doesn't matter. You play him every week. He's one of the best safeties in the league.
He is, but I'm pretty sure he got hurt last week.
That would be newsworthy if he got hurt. Believe that.
I've been talking about Adams not playing for some reason. Am I thinking about a different guy?
He had 9 tackles. That was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was 2 weeks
He had 5 tackles this last week. That's not the worst. He's still great. Play him.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the best safeties in the league.
I'm not playing Leonard Williams. I'm not playing Quinnen Williams. Neither of those guys.
Williams got hurt again, too.
Did he?
Yep.
All right, yeah. So, I mean, they just played 2 or 3 nights ago. We all saw what happened there, but you can count on the linebacker, one of the linebackers for the Jets, 2 of them, play those guys. Mosley's hurt, and you can play Jamal Adams.
Brian Boole is actually pretty stout. I get that they gave up 3 touchdowns, but they still held Sony Michel to like 40 or like 41 yards.
Is that a feat, holding Sony Michel to not very many yards? Is that like brag-worthy? He's one of the worst running. He's like all Sony Michel is Jeremy Hill with a mask on. That's it. He is a good 1 yard pounded in. He's so bad he can't break a tackle to save his life, and he just runs straight into the guys.
I don't know, man. Sony Michel's, I mean, he's been a pretty good running back to have in fantasy football this year.
In fantasy, yes. He hasn't had a 100-yard game since the playoffs. I mean, half the season's over.
I'm pretty sure he had a 100-yard game just the other
day. He didn't. I have him on a bunch of teams. I'd know. I'd be talking about it.
I kind of want a little.
On the Jag side of the ball, though, you're starting all the defensive linemen you can from the Jaguars: Calais Campbell, Yannick Ngakoue. Josh Allen is low key a top 10 defensive end. He's killing it this year for fantasy football managers that have him. He's top 5. He's top 5 in sacks too. I mean, he has 5 sacks. I mean, that's as many as Joey Bosa. That's more than J.J. Watt, more than Aaron Donald, more than Nick Bosa, more than Justin Houston, more than Everson Griffin. So, I mean, he's killing it. And his snaps have been going up as the season's been going on. Yannick did have the big play last week. He did do his fantasy managers right, and he's still a great defensive end. But the guy to own there right now is Josh Allen. But you're starting all of them against the Jets line that we just saw just completely wither under any sort of pressure from the Patriots this last week. Linebackers.
It's almost sort of like the safety side of it, because that dude, all he did was throw picks.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Ronnie Harrison. I'm playing Ronnie Harrison over a couple of linebackers this weekend in an IDP flex spot in my main league, just because, Ronnie Harrison's had a good year in pass deflections. He's had a couple of picks. So you're starting pretty much all Jaguars. Miles Jack is not a great linebacker, but he still is a fantasy producer. You can start him as a low end one probably be a lot happier starting him as a linebacker 2 or 3 if you have that ability. Quincy Williams has not. He got benched a couple of weeks ago. He played a little bit this last week because I think Najee got hurt, or whoever the guy who was playing for him got hurt, so he was back out there. But Quincy Williams got hurt now. So basically, Miles Jack is like the only healthy starting linebacker they have. But that's good news for Ronnie Harrison and Jarod Wilson. So you're starting all your Jaguars IDP players with absolute
especially
confidence.
after the Jets did what they just did.
Yep, 100%.
Agreed. This next game could be a fun one. And I think people need to
kind
really
of the same thing here.
49ers, Panthers, and I get the 49ers for 6-0, but they haven't played a running back worth a dog yet, and CMC is a savage.
He's a big dog.
He's a savage. And Kyle Allen is undefeated as a starting quarterback.
Is Kyle Allen starting this week, or is Cam Newton starting this week?
You hear me? People are trying to get the Panthers to trade Cam Newton.
A lot, I bet.
The Bears
I wouldn't trade him. I would keep him just in case their starting quarterback, Kyle Allen, gets hurt,
Yeah. So we have an undefeated quarterback against.
Oh, okay. He didn't practice today. I just
he ain't playing.
Okay, yeah.
He playing no matter what. He comes
Kyle
back,
Allen's playing.
It's just like when Tony Romo got hurt. He came back. Did he play?
Dude,
no.
That's cold. You're probably right. I mean, same thing with Foles.
You don't take the hot hand away. Yeah, Foles is supposed to start practicing in this week. You are not taking Gardner Minshew out. The stash is alive.
Teddy Bridgewater, I mean, he's basically just as good as Drew Brees.
No, bro. That's the one guy that you can say.
If people aren't watching on YouTube, they can't see my facial expressions. I'm obviously joking.
Well, he will definitely be upset. So
that's
way better than Niners defense. It's funny. Obviously, Buckner's your guy. Nick Bosa he's been healthy. He's playing really well.
Oh yeah. You're starting Nick Bosa. You're starting the entire defensive line of the 49ers except for Solomon Thomas.
The Panthers offensive line is pretty solid. So
it is, but
I really like this game.
Yeah, even Armstead has been doing good for the Niners. D4's been doing good, minimal snaps. DeForest Buckner's playing a ton of snaps
against Richard Sherman. I'm gonna bet you they put somebody over top of him though, because Richard Sherman is not the old Richard Sherman. He will get burnt by DJ Moore.
Yeah.
So
Curtis Samuel, what are you talking about DJ Moore for? He's just a mid-level, underneath route kind of guy.
Well, Curtis Samuel too.
Curtis Samuel's a deep threat. Tyreek 2.0.
He's a baller too. So and he's a legit 4.3 40 guy. So
he's a beast. That was a joke. They're both I think they're both gonna have a good game. You're definitely right. Sure, Sherman is not what he used to be. He's not a shutdown, but he's still a wily dude. I mean, he's had a pretty decent year.
Because I think he has 2 pick sixes, right?
Something like that. He has at least one.
He's got at least 1 pick six. I know he's got a pick against Baker too. So
Quan Alexander, Fred Warner. Fred Warner has not had the year that I'd hoped he had. I've kind of been cooling on him as of late. It's been pointed out to me by a buddy that that he's not really doing what I have talked about him doing. I've been starting him, and he keeps getting really good projections and good matchups, but Quan Alexander is there, and he's playing pretty well. I haven't been playing any of the safeties on the 49ers pretty much anywhere. Have you?
No.
So what about Panthers side? Obviously, Panthers have one of the highest sack rates in the league, have second or third most sacks in the league.
Shaq Thompson's playing well. Obviously, Luke Kuechly is a must start.
Yep.
I don't care.
What about Dontori Poe, Mario Addison, Brian Burns? Any combination?
I like Brian Burns. Poe's been playing decent. Not playing great, but
yeah, he's a little older. But yeah.
Who's the corner that they have that's really
Bradbury?
Solid? No,
is that it?
Jackson?
I don't know. I know that Eric Reed and Trey Boston. Well. Eric Reed has been playing very, very well. I traded him in Dynasty in this offseason after he came back with them. He had put up some decent numbers in the last year. Not great, but
really
decent.
Numbers up since he's back.
Yeah, he's been playing. He's been a part of some big plays. Trey Boston is useful.
Still Trey Boston.
Yeah, useful, not exciting, but reliable.
Everybody that left Arizona is still a stud wherever they went.
Yeah.
Antoine Bethea, Trey Boston.
All right, you want to slide on down these? We have about 10, 15 minutes left. We got 4 more games to cover, so we
Yep.
could do a speed. Let's do a speed
Let's
round
go
on
speed.
this one.
All right, Raiders, Texans.
All right, you hit all the relevant Raiders people you like and dislike, and I'll hit the Texans.
Tahir Whitehead and Joseph.
Tahir Whitehead.
About the only guys I like. The defensive or the offensive line for the Texans too good, so I'm only 2 guys. I'm grabbing Tahir Whitehead and Joseph on the Raiders.
Word on Texans side, I'm starting Justin Reed, obviously. Benardrick McKinney and Zach Cunningham have both been great linebackers for you this year. And you're going to stick with Whitney Merciless, and obviously you're playing J.J. Watt. If you need to play Reader as a D tackle, you can, but don't get too excited.
The Browns, Patriots, I do not expect it to be like the Jets game. The only reason, and this is the only reason, the Browns have had 2 weeks to prepare for the Patriots. And I get that 100%. But when you give somebody 2 weeks to prepare, and it sounds like they're trying to go get not – because they probably won't get Trent Williams, but it sounds like they're trying to get the guy from Buffalo or the –
Buffalo ain't giving up an offensive lineman. You're crazy.
There's 2 offensive line they're trying to go after. One guy from New York, which I can't pronounce his name.
Buffalo put that offensive line together this offseason meticulously, and nobody paid attention. And
I think they're trying to go after one of them. So,
and why do you think Josh Allen is 5-1 or 4-1, whatever the hell he is?
Yeah, and they've had a good game against the Patriots.
Yep. So, and exactly. And if Josh Allen would have got knocked out that game, Patriots might not be undefeated. That's real talk right there. Baker Mayfield is going to get annihilated.
The crazy thing about the Patriots game last night, or the other night,
2-3 nights ago, whatever it was,
they allowed a lot of yards per carry to Le'Veon Bell.
Well, Le'Veon Bell was making those yards. Were you watching?
Yeah,
he looked
6-7 yards a carry.
Well, he was making them too. I mean, he was not the first tackler was not taking
like 3 or 4 yards deep though. Look at it. I was shocked.
The last thing I'm gonna do is watch that game again. So don't even.
And then I watched it. I was like, oh, let's go. This guy do 4 yards carry, and then 5 yards carry, 6 yards carry, and then we're gonna throw the ball 40 times.
Yeah, they were pretty dumb. All right, on Brown side, you're obviously going to start Myles Garrett. Larry Ogunjobi's having a good year. I'm starting him. Are you starting Vernon?
No.
Olivier Vernon? No? All right. Game. Mac Wilson. And you can start Mac Wilson. Joe Schobert is on fire. You're 100% starting Joe Schobert. Demarius Randall's kind of up and down.
Morgan's been injured so much. So
yeah. Morgan Burnett is a kind of a risky play, but you might be able to play him.
I really like Mac Wilson in that play because of the dump passes.
I've been playing Mac Wilson a lot this year. He has not had a big game, kind of like he had in the preseason. He had a couple of big preseason games, but he's been solid. So, and he was on my waiver wire, and I lost a linebacker in that league. It was super deep, so I was really happy to have him. So, Patriots side, snap counts are scary over there. The whole Patriots defense overall is incredible, but for IDP, I mean, you're literally playing Russian roulette. Odds are, though, the gun's loaded pretty much everywhere. But
real quick, we had a small bet on Monday on who's going to win, either Robbie Anderson or Stephon Gilmore, on who's going to win the matchup. Who won it?
Robbie Anderson didn't do shit.
Did Stephon Gilmore have an interception?
Like he had a good game.
Yep. Just real quick, a little jab.
All right. So you can pretty much play any Patriot you want. Chase Winovich has barely played at all, but he basically has the same fantasy production as
Is Jamie Collins going to come back to have a good game?
You play Jamie Collins. I mean, when he booms, he booms. So his floor is not bad. His floor is still pretty similar to your average linebacker floor, but his ceiling is so much higher because of the team he's on and the way he's used, even though his snap counts and his snap percentages are a little iffy.
Surprised the Browns got rid of him.
And I kind of dogged him this offseason. Brown's going to Brown, dude. I mean, they were the kings of the offseason. I mean, they basically won the Super Bowl this summer, and they can barely win a game right now. So,
yeah.
The summer Super Bowl. Man, I love the summer Super Bowl.
All right, next game, Packers-Chiefs. I love a rivalry game. But if
I wish Patrick Mahomes. This is Sunday Night Football, and there's no Patrick Mahomes.
It's possible.
I know. Practicing. Oh, I think they should just put a brace on him and make him play all shotgun and just do it.
Just let him work. I'm with you 100%.
He would tear that. He would just slide surgical. surgical. And like you said, they've had 10 days to prepare for this.
Darren Waller did against the Packers. What do you think Kelsey would do with Mahomes at quarterback?
Anyway. Well, let's talk IDP. You're going to start Blake Martinez. Obviously, he's an absolute stud. One of the leading tacklers, if not the leading tackler in the league right now. I think he might be. Defensive line, Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith also play linebacker, defensive line, whatever you call them. They're both elite plays, big plays, but elite plays, especially if Patrick Mahomes is out. Chiefs offensive line is banged up. They're going to have Matt Moore in. That's going to be a good situation for them to be able to get in there and spook him a bit, cause some turnovers on the back end. So
Matt Moore's in. I'm calling the Packers going to win this game. If Patrick Mahomes decides to play, I think that I don't like the Chiefs' defense as much. Because they're not going to be on the field as much if Pat Mahomes plays. If he doesn't,
if Pat Mahomes plays, yes, because it's going to be like the Patriots last year, where they just do like 8-minute long drives.
Oh, and
take all 3 downs. They're not going to play usual Chiefs. Yeah, Kenny Clark is questionable, so watch out for that. I'm kind of cooling on Kenny Clark too this year. He has, with the addition of Preston Smith and Zadarius, it's not been the same kind of year as he was having last year. So Chiefs side of the ball. Frank Clark, is he a must start again?
He's also questionable.
Yeah, I saw that he just popped up. But assuming he's playing, is he a must start or?
Yeah, because he's gonna have snaps.
Okay. Linebackers for the Chiefs, I'm pretty much avoiding if I can. Chris Jones practiced, so maybe you can play him if you decide to do that. Emmanuel Ogba has quietly been having a half decent year. Okafor, not bad either. So
Juan Thornhill's playing okay. I expect him to get more. I expect him to outplay Tyrann Mathieu overall.
Big play dependent for sure. Yeah. But all right, last game,
Steelers, Dolphins. Pretty much any person on the Steelers, just play them.
Yes, IDP gold. Kind of like anybody on the Patriots, except for their players stay on for like all the snaps and do all the stuff instead of like 40 guys doing it. So it's almost even better. Devin Bush is your linebacker 1, 2, or 3, depending on your scoring format, pretty much across the board. Dude's crushing. I mean, he has huge tackle numbers and he has big plays, and he's playing the Dolphins this week. So you should be on that. TJ Watt is a must start. Cam Hayward, if he's playing, I believe he is, must start. Even some of your guys like Bud Dupree, he's not injured, right? Stephon Tuitt did get injured.
Tuitt got hurt. Hayward got hurt a little bit, but I think he's playing.
Think he should be back. Yeah. So start all of them. The safeties, same situation. Minka and Terrell Edmonds.
Rudolph's back, so that's not good for the Dolphins. So
yep. And what about Dolphins side though? Is there anybody IDP interest over there for you? Jerome Baker. Pretty much Jerome Baker and Raekwon McMillan if you have to. Their defensive line, I'm not playing anybody. Steelers have one of the top. I think they have the number one ranked pass protection offensive line per Football Outsiders. So, they're a veteran group. They've played together for a long time. It just makes sense. And they're all healthy. So it just makes sense that they're doing really well. And they seem to be take a lot of pride in what they do. So I think they're happy to perform at a high level no matter what quarterback's standing behind them. So I think that's why the Steelers still have a chance to make some waves in the division this season. But not a lot of IDP relevant players on the Dolphins side.
I agree. Overall, well, man, we kind of killed it over an hour now, and this IDP hour. So
yeah, just over an hour. It was fun to do a new format. I liked it. If you're still listening out there, give us some feedback. What do you guys think? This a little better than the ranking show, or do you want a little more of the rankings in there? Just, let us know what your thought process is if you enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm got nothing else really. I was happy to go through all this. Real quick, let's just do a little just for fun. Give me a linebacker a start of the week. Devin Bush. There you go. I love it.
Not even a doubt in my mind with who they're playing.
All right, I'll give you defensive line start of the week. I'll just give you a different position. I'm going to go Josh Allen from the Jaguars. I think he's going to have a really good week and maybe make some waves in the community and in the NFL even. So
I like it. So it means I need to go give you a safety.
Sure, yeah. Let's give it one
I actually
safety.
like either safety on the Cardinals or Saints, either Buda Baker or Von Bell. Pick one.
There you go. All right.
I just like that game in that aspect. So.
Oh, yeah, I agree. There should be plenty of throwing in that game. So, all right. Well, until next week, folks, this is the IDP Hour with your host, Jordan Rains and Jared Gray. And I guess we will see you on the flip. Follow us on Twitter if you want to get some more content or, chat it up with us. Give us start-sit questions at Jared Gray, at 50 Shades of Drunk, myself, and then our producer, our dude who's not here. Shout out Steve at the Dynasty Chef. So
we'll be live on Sunday. So.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Good luck.